drink 1 liter of water and still feel thirsty. ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ಹೊಡಂಗ್ ನೀರು ಕುಡಿದ್ರನ ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ತುಂಬ್ದಾಗ ಆಗಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ನೀರು ಮೂಗ್ನಾಗಿಂದು ಬಾಯ್ದೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಒಳಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾನೆ. ಹೌದಾ? ಎಸ್. ತಲೆ ತಣ್ಣಂದು ಎಣ್ಣೆ ಹಚ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರನ ತಲೆ ಬ್ಯಾನಿ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಹೌದಾ? ಎಸ್. ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಕೂಲ್ ಎಣ್ಣೆ ತಗೊಂಬಂದು ಹಚ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಏನೂ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಹೌದಾ? ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಕಮ್ಮಿ. ಎಸ್. Now, if you're going home, all of you are going home. Okay. But please come back early. In the sense, Saturday evening, try and come by Saturday evening or night because Sunday you have classes. Okay. We have decided that you will not be getting any holidays until August. We wanted to finish almost 70 to 80% of the syllabus and then give you like 8 to 10 days of holidays. Then we can start your revision after that immediately. But now circumstances change. Yes, because the circumstances changing. Okay, let it be. Weather itself is changing so many times. Nature itself has become so fickle. ಮನುಷ್ಯರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಉಳಿದಿದೆ? What you're looking different now? What did you do? You shaved? Cut your hair? What? So in physics, I think sir has completed optics, right? Yes. Optics. Yes, ray optics. Yes. I think, and this year study material also is excellent. There are many different kinds of questions. Please practice that thoroughly. Okay, and for JEE students, we are also preparing some JEE material for mathematics especially. Okay, and we'll also get mathematics from outside, either Ariant or some other book, and we'll give you when the time is right. Until then, we have matrices. I think they've already given. Yes, matrices on sheet. Yes, it's taking a lot of time and effort to prepare those. Please take those. Okay, because I have seen every book, whether it is MTC or Arihant or any other PW or any other PYQ book, in every PYQ book, especially mathematics, they have not given all questions. Okay. To just save pages and money, what they've done is only selected a few problems. I just give an example of matrices. If you see that PYQ, how many questions are there? Around 53 questions are there. Just 5 years. Yes. 2026 in the 22 ತನಕ ಅಷ್ಟೇ questions add ಮಾಡಿದರೆ. If you see there are like 50 odd questions, right? So the 24 plus 48 ಅಂತ ಏನು ಬರೆದಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ only 15-20 questions ಇದೆ. They just selected important questions. In PYQs to do everything, right? Because every question is different from the other question. ಯಾವುದೋ question ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ repeat ಇಲ್ಲ. Okay. That's why we decided that we will build our own mathematics PYQ book, especially JEE, and then giving it to you. Okay, and then along with that, we are also building quick revision notes as well. Okay, all formula books and all that also will be, maybe it will be ready by the end of August. That time we will try and provide that also. As and when physics is available, immediately we'll provide you physics, and then after that mathematics or chemistry. Okay. Some chapters are done, some chapters are going on. Okay. Other than that, in student app, okay, AI is integrated. Is that you practice any questions, all the solutions, AI solutions is available in that. So please practice any n number of questions from our student app. Okay, ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು login ಮಾಡಿ. Other than our study material, if you want to do something else, please do our app, because there are many improvements done, many integrations done in that, and then insight ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ನೀವು ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದಂಗಿಲ್ಲ, ನಿಮಗೆ ಇನ್ಸೈಟ್ಸ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಸ್ ದಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಇನ್ ವಿಚ್ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಗುಡ್, ವಿಚ್ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಬ್ಯಾಡ್, ವಿಚ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಸ್ಟಡಿ, ವಿಚ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ you are good at, like all those statistics you'll be able to get. Okay, please go through a study app as well, student app as well, because in student app whatever results now you are writing every day or every week you'll be writing examinations, all of those exam results also are being uploaded into student app. Okay, and all of the analysis also is available in the student app. Okay, any particular examination, ray optics in the question paper prepare ಮಾಡಿದರೆ, within the ray optics there are several different topics. Sir has selected questions from all different topics, like which topic you have done well, which topic you have not done well, okay, which topic you have to revise, like which question you have done correctly, which question you have done incorrectly, all those things, all those statistics are also available there. Okay, so whenever you get time, please go through that. Okay, and then next is, please let's try and do a 30-day challenge. Is that in this following 30 days, every single minute that we get, we will try and spend in studying. Illa agli, mane hodmele agli, right? While coming, while sitting, when between the periods, after the school, before the school, wherever you get any single minute free, you will try and do something related to the subject. Just do this for 30 days. Take it up as a challenge. And we'll try and do as a 30-day challenge. We'll see at the end of these 30 days, you will definitely feel that ನಿಮ್ಮ marks ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ understanding ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹಳ difference ಬಂದಿದೆ. Definitely you will understand that there will be a lot of difference, which is okay. And just to keep up with it, at the end of the day, every day, just one book, a 30-day challenge, 30 pages book ತಗೊಳ್ರಿ. At the end of every day, try and write in that, physics ನಾನು ಇವತ್ತು ಏನೇನು ಮಾಡಿದೆ, chemistry what did I do, how many problems did I solve, okay, how many pages of the notes did I read, how many pages of the textbooks did I read, okay, how much revision did I do, previous chapter ಏನಾದರೂ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಯಾವ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಇವಾಗ, just small note about physics, chemistry, mathematics and biology. Just write down at the end of the day. It will take 5 minutes. Try and build a habit like this. Once it becomes a habit, once it turns into a habit that you're doing this every day, it will definitely bring changes. Okay, it will definitely bring changes. And ನೀವು ರಾತ್ರಿ ಬರೆಯುವಾಗ ನೀವು ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ರಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ, ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನಾನು ಡೇಯಲ್ಲಿ, ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಓದಿದ್ನ, ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಓದಿದ್ನ, ಇಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿದ್ನ, ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಓದಿದ್ನ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಓಕೆ, ನಾನು ಇನ್ನೂ ಬೆಟರ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಇಷ್ಟು ಮಾಡಿದಿನ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಓಕೆ ಗುಡ್, ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡನ್ ಸೋ ಮಚ್, ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿಲ್ಡ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಸ್. This small little things only brings the difference between a top ranker and an average ranker. Everybody here, definitely, even if you do half-heartedly, you will do more than average score in whatever examination you're trying to attempt. Okay, ಇವಾಗನು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಕುಂತು ಕೇಳಿ ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಆರಾಮ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಬರೆದ್ರೆ more than average you will do. I don't want you all to do more than average. We want you all to do that top result, that some extra effort, some extra dedication that is required, the extra seriousness that is required. Please slowly build madri. Yes, as Dr. Na Someshwar sir also said, there is no dull student, or there is no stupid student. There is no dull student, but there are definitely ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರು ಮಾಡಲಾರ್ದೆ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, turns even good students into, right? Okay, fine. Now I will be dealing with a new chapter called as electric charges and field. Okay, as I said, in physics, we have dedicated chapters for every particular fundamental force. Okay, fundamental force ಅಲ್ಲಿ gravitational force ಇದೆ. Gravitational force ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು gravitation ಅನ್ನೋ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಓದಿದ್ವಿ. Okay, ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ electrostatic force ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು fundamental force ಇದೆ, right? we study about that fundamental force. What are the cause for that fundamental force? This chapter called as electric charges and field. Always to the starting trouble. Yeah. Okay. Now, what is the reason for electrostatic force? The reason for electrostatic force is a fundamental property of matter. That fundamental property of matter is called as charge. Okay, ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್ ತಗೊಳ್ರಿ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ charge ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Because of that charge, what happens is it will exert all of these electrical and magnetic forces. Okay. First, in this chapter, we learn about what is charge. How does any body have charge, and what are the properties of charges? Okay. On fundamental definitions again in this we'll study is what is electrostatics. Okay. Electrostatics. Electro means related to charge and statics is charges are at rest. Okay. ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಅದು ಏನೇನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಪೊಟೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಜನರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಪೊಟೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡೋದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಏನ್ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋಸ್ಟಾಟಿಕ್ಸ್. ರೈಟ್. As I was saying, what is electric charge? Electric charge is a fundamental property, okay, or in a different way it is called as intrinsic property. Okay, intrinsic property andre ಏನು ಅಂತ explain ಮಾಡೋಣ. Right, charge is an intrinsic property of matter by virtue of which it produces electrical and magnetic effects. Okay. What are electrical effects? What are magnetic effects? Slowly, as this chapter progresses, we'll try and study electrical effects andre ಏನು, magnetic effects andre ಏನು, ಯಾವ ತರ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಫಂಡಮೆಂಟಲಿ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಎರಡು ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅವೆರಡು ನಡುವೆ ಒಂದು ಹೊಸ ಟೈಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ದಟ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ as electrostatic force. Okay. Because of that electrostatic force, we define a property called as electric charge. What is the intrinsic? Intrinsic simply means it is part of its nature. Okay. Intrinsic simply means it is part of its nature. Okay. ಏನದು, what is it parts of its nature ಅಂತ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ we have an example here. Okay. We have two diagrams here. Okay. Are two images, one of them is a gold ornament, another one is a gold nugget. Okay. Now if you go to market, recently I think there was a festival to buy gold, right? Some festival called as, if you go and buy this gold ornament, what do you think how much it will cost? Or to simply ask you a question, among these two, do you think which one will be costly and which one will be cheap? Right. Because yeah, first, second is costlier than first. Okay, but generally if you go to what happens in this, we feel that this might be costlier as compared to this because of all of the work that is being done in this. Okay, but this jewelry is only made up of roll gold. Roll gold andre ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಮೆಟಲ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಚೀಪ್ ಆದ ಮೆಟಲ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ಮೆಟಲ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಗೋಲ್ಡ್ ಫಾಯಿಲ್ ನ ರ್ಯಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಬೈ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನೇಚರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಮೇಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಗೋಲ್ಡ್. Whereas this one, by its nature, it is pure gold. Okay. So because of its nature, the price of this is high and the price of this is low. Okay, so you might find this maybe in 50 or 100 rupees. Okay, but 50, 100 rupees ಗೆ ಕಾಣದಷ್ಟು ಈ ಗೋಲ್ಡ್ ಸಿಗಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಕಣ್ಣಿಗೆ ಕಾಣಷ್ಟು ಗೋಲ್ಡ್ ಸಿಗಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಈ ಲೈಕ್ ಅದಲ್ಲ 100 rupees you will not get. You have to see it through microscope only if you want to see 100 rupees gold. Right? Why the difference? Because the nature, one of them is pure gold, the other one is roll gold. So this is the meaning of nature. Because of its nature, what happens? Charge ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು nature ಇದೆ. ಆ nature ಇಂದ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? It will experience electrical forces or it will experience magnetic forces. It will produce electrical forces or it will also produce magnetic force. Now, within charges, we have two types of charges that we have to quickly understand here. One, the point charge. Point charge andre ಏನು, right? Any charge whose dimensions we can ignore, but whose effects we cannot ignore. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು electric and magnetic effects ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಬಟ್ ಅದರ ಡೈಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ಲಿ ನೆಗ್ಲಿಜಿಬಲ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ತರ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವೇನೇನು ಕರಿತೀವಿ? ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್. ಸೊ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಇಂದು effects ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಓದ್ತೀವಿ, ಬಟ್ we do not study about its dimensions. Okay. Point charge ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ there is another kind of charge that we will study called as test charge. Okay. There are two types of charges that we use here and try and understand electrical effects. Another one is point charge, another one is test charge. Okay. Test charge ulta. Test charge ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ it is ಅದರದೇ ಆದ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಬಹಳ ಬಹಳ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, but it can experience. Okay, so if you keep this in any electric field, or if you keep test charge near any other charge, what happens is it will experience electric force, whereas it cannot produce its own. Okay, so in short, test charge ಗೆ ಏನಂತ ಅನ್ಬೋದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ it can experience but cannot produce. What can it experience? It can experience electrical and magnetic effects, whereas it cannot produce. Produce ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ we take that the effects are very negligible. Okay. Okay. Then charge, intrinsic property of matter. Okay. Like how mass also is an intrinsic property of matter, right? Charge also is intrinsic property, but mass alli ಒಂದೇ type ಇದೆ. ಹೌದಾ? In mass there is only one type, whereas in charge fundamentally there are two types. Okay, ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು positive and negative. Okay, otherwise also called as protonic charge or electronic charge. Okay, why have I classified them as such, protonic charge, electronic charge? Is because protonic charge ಯಾವ್ದ್ರಿಂದ ಇರುತ್ತೆ? Exists. It is because of what? It is because of protons. It is because of protons present in and electronic charges because of electrons so what you are saying is any matter will have negative charge if it has some amount of electrons. It will have positive charge if it has protons. Okay. If I say that this matter does not have any protons, okay, If this matter does not have any protons, can it have positive charge? Yes, it is also called as what? Positive charge. Yes, correct. Okay. Ah, so what about neutral? It's not a fundamental. Like you have either proton which is positively charged, electron which is negatively charged. If you have one proton and one electron, total charge you will get at that time is 0. And that type of charge is not a type of charge. You say that the total charge at that time is 0. It's not a type of charge. It's just total charge at that time is 0. So what about neutron? I'm sorry, protons and electrons. Okay. No, no, neutron also. So we said proton and we said electron, right? Proton is positively charged, electron is negatively charged. What about neutron? They are electrically neutral. So can we not say that in types of charges or kinds of charges, there is another charge called as neutral charge? Yes. Think about it once. Ah, okay. The smallest unit of charge which exists is E. Okay. Either it is plus E or minus E. Okay. And the value of this E is actually equal to 1.6 into 10 power minus 19. Okay. We'll come to how we measure charge, but the smallest unit of charge which can exist independently is E. Okay. That E is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19. Okay. Charge alli, what is the meaning of this is that charge alli ಒಂದು lower limit ಇದೆ. ಇದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ or independently exist ಆಗಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. Whereas in mass, there is no lower limit for mass. Okay. Idharkina kadime mass agbodu. Mass can be even 10 power minus 31 minus 41. Mass can be as low as possible because there is no lower limit for mass, or at least ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ ಯಾರು measure ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ a lower limit for mass. Whereas for charge, a lower limit of charge is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19. What is this? This is actually the charge of proton or a electron. So if you take a single proton, the charge is plus 1.6 10 power minus 19, and if you take one electron, the charge of that is minus 1.6 to 10 power minus 19. Now, what are the types of charged bodies that we can have? Okay. Now, if any body has equal number of protons and electrons, what happens? We have something called as a neutral body. That is, if you have 20 protons and 20 electrons. Okay, so this body will become what? This body will become neutral. And if you have an object which has more protons and less electrons, overall this body will have a positive charge. Okay. And you have another type of body called as negatively charged body. Negatively charged body or negative body, ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ number of protons is less than number of electrons. So balance. ಯಾವ್ದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ದು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅದರ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಆ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಒಂದು ಬಾಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಬಾಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ವಿಲ್ ಕಾಲ್ ದಟ್ as ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಬಾಡಿ. ಸೊ ಎರಡು ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ವಿಲ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ as ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಲ್. You have neutral, positive and negative. Okay, so what do you have in neutral? Neutral same or equal number of number of protons is equal to number of electrons. The number of protons is equal to number of electrons. We get a neutral body. This is positive body, positively charged body or a positive body. Here, amount of positive charge, say, is more than that is, what do you write in terms of number of protons? Number of protons is actually greater than number of electrons. Then negative वाले amount of negative charge is more that is number of protons is less than number of Okay. Now in this, what we do is we define something called as n. What is n? N is actually difference number of protons and number of electrons. Okay. Even body alli number of protons minus number of neutrons ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ n number ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ನಾನು capital n ಇಂದ denote ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ. For this positively charged body, how do you calculate this n? Yes. For a positive body, how do you calculate this n? This n will be equal to what? This n will be equal to number of protons minus number of electrons. Okay. And for a negative body, thus n will be equal to number of electrons minus number of So for a negative body, we write it as number of electrons minus number of protons, whereas for a positive body, we'll write it as number of protons minus number of electrons. Okay. So there is another language that we use here to describe n. Okay. ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ positive bodyಯಲ್ಲಿ electrons are in excess or electrons are short. Okay. So what does n represent here? N represents just electrons short ಇದಾವೆ. Okay. And in a negatively charged body, number of electrons are more. So what does n represents here? N represents excess amount of electrons. N represents excess amount of electrons. Okay. In this case, n represents number of electrons short, and here n represents excess okay. Okay. Neutral bodies, number of protons and number of neutrons are equal. Then what will be the value of n in neutral body? 0. The value of n in the neutral body will be 0. Okay. Electrons excess allo illa, electrons short aginu illa. So it is equal under n will become 0. Okay. Done? Okay. Okay. Now, how do you convert a neutral body to a charged body? Right? If you want to make it a positively charged body, what you have to do? You have to remove electrons, right? Or you have to remove negative charge. Okay. And if you want to make it a negatively charged body, you have to remove protons. Okay. Now, as a process of charging body, the only thing that you can do is either you can remove electrons or you can add electrons. You can never remove protons or add protons. That is not very easy. It takes, you can do it, but it takes large amounts of energy. Okay. As energy spend ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ electrons ತಂತಾನೆ ಓಡೋಗಿರ್ತಾವೆ. What I'm trying to say is, when you are giving energy and trying to remove protons, ಇದ್ದಿರೋ electrons. So the only feasible process is either you add electrons or you remove electrons. Okay. Addition and removal of electrons is also done in a chemical process. Yes or no? Yes. In any chemical process, addition or removal electrons are also done. What happens when you add or remove electrons? There you get ions, right? You get either cations or you get anions. Okay. Okay. For the process of creating a charged body, there are only two things that you can do. Either you can remove electrons or you can add electrons. Now, neutral body ತಗೊಂಡು ಅದರಿಂದ electrons ತೆಗೆದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ body ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ? Neutral body, and I remove electrons. You will get positively charged body. And if I add electrons to a neutral body, negative. Now, how you remove electrons or how you add electrons, based on that, there are three different methods of charging a body. Okay, so one of them is by friction. By friction, okay, you must have heard about this earliest experiments where they understood that any body can be charged as they had amber or a glass rod. That glass rod, using silk, what they did is they applied force and rubbed it. When they rubbed it against this glass or silk rod, what happens is during that rubbing, silk got one charge and glass rod got another charge. Okay. So what happens when you apply some force and rub it? The surface ಮೇಲೆ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ? Electrons ಇರ್ತಾವ, right? So this is one body, this is another body. Okay. So if I apply some force using one of them and pull it, what happens is either this will pull the electrons or this will pull electrons. Now, which will pull electrons ಅನ್ನೋದು ಎದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? ನೀವು ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಟರ್ಮ್ ಕಲಿತೀರಾ, something which loves electrons. Property is something which loves electrons is called as electron. A in a start, affinity, electron affinity. What is electron affinity? Electron affinity ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? It loves electrons more. Electron affinity ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? It loves electrons less, right? So let's say you have two objects, right? A and B. Okay, so electron affinity, if I define it like this, electron affinity for A is less than B, which means what? B loves electrons more as compared to A. Okay, so this is A, this is B. Okay, this is A, B. Now if I rub one against the other, which will gain electron and which will lose electron? B will gain electron and A will lose electron. Wherever free or loose electrons are there on the surface, if sufficient amount of force is applied, what happens is the electrons can be transferred from one object to another object. If these two are rubbed against each other, what happens is it get transferred positively charged and you get a B which is negatively charged. Okay. when two objects of different electron affinity are rubbed against each other, transfer of electrons. Yes, transfer of electrons takes place. And thus yes, you can try these small experiments at home as well. Okay, or at the hostel, right? You have comb, right? You tear small pieces of paper, put it on your hand. Yes, it will start attracting. What is happening is when you rub the comb near hair, the comb is getting charged. Okay, a comb is charged, but the pieces of paper are not charged. No. Yes. How is it that the comb is attracting the pieces of paper? Okay. So that happens because of a third method called as induction. Okay, you learned about induction in chemistry as well. Chemical bonding ಅಲ್ಲಿ induced charges ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Charge dipole induced dipole, charge induced dipole. Right? What happens is, let's say any neutral atom. Okay, if it has single electron, any neutral atom ಯಾವ ತರ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಈ ತರ ಒಂದು regular shape ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Is that electron is revolving around the positive center. Okay. So the center of positive charge and the center of negative charge ಎಲ್ಲಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎರಡು exactly at the center. Now what happens if you bring a negative charge object near this? Okay. What happens is this negative charge, the positive charge ಗೆ attract ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ and then it will repel this. So as a result, instead of being a neutral, it will still remain a neutral object. It will create a dipole. What kind of dipole is that? Positive center one side, negative center. This will be negative center will. Yeah. Shape out of this basically. So what happens is because of this negative charge, electron on the circular path ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು elliptical path ಅಲ್ಲಿ rotate ಆಗುತ್ತೆ and then the negative here and the center of the positive charge will be. What happens? You will get an extended object like this. This will be positively charged. This will be negatively charged. Now between these two there is repulsion. So when you bring comb near the pieces of paper, what happens is this type of induction happens. Because of the induction like this, what happens is this negative and positive charge they attract each other. Because of which pieces of paper are attracted to the comb. Now, the second way of charging is conduction, as the name suggests. What happens in conduction, do you think? Okay, so let's say you're cooking and you're using some cooking utensils, right? You're trying to fry something. Handle ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, handle conducting material ಇಂದ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ, insulating material ಇಂದ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. Why insulating? Why not conducting? It does not conduct heat, right? Electricity also in this specific context, right? It doesn't conduct heat. The conduction of heat and electricity both is happening because of electrons. Yes. So ಇಲ್ಲಿನೂ ಕಂಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆರ್ ಎನಿ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಗೆ ನಾವು ಕಂಡಕ್ಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಬೋದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಈಸಿಲಿ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಆರ್ ಇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಈಸಿಲಿ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್, ರೈಟ್? ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಚಾರ್ಜಸ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫ್ರೀಲಿ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ, ರೈಟ್, ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ಲಿ ಫ್ರೀಲಿ ಆರಾಮ್ಸೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕಂಡಕ್ಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಅಂಡ್ ಕಂಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಯೂಸ್, ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಸೇ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟೂ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್, this is a positively charged, let's say, and this is a neutral object. You want to charge this neutral object as well. What you are doing is, ನಮಗೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, friction fail ಆಗಿದೆ. So what you can use is, you can use a thin conducting wire, a thin metal wire. So what happens when you connect these two using a thin metallic wire is that charges flow from this object to the other object. Once again, this is only possible when this is also a conductor and this is also a conductor. The conduction and the possibility yavag agutte andre when everything in this is a conductor. When everything in this is a conductor and you have a positively charged conductor and you have a neutral conductor and both of them are connected using a conductor again. If I use a plastic here, again this also is a conducting wire. So generally this is called as a conducting wire use ಮಾಡಿ connect ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, what happens is the energy of this is more and the energy of this is less. As you know that everything in the universe tries to attain as less energy as possible. ಎರಡು ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಲೆಸ್ ಹೆಂಗಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಎರಡು ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ದು. Now, how do you think the charge, this positive charge, is transferred from here to here? Do you think the protons are transferred from here to here? What happens? This positively charged conducting object, this neutral conducting object, if they are connected using this conducting wire, illinda illige electrons flow ಆಗ್ತವೆ. Electrons flow from here to, once the electron flow from here to here, ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ electrons equal ಇದ್ದು electrons ಏನಾದ್ರು ಇವಾಗ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Electrons kadme agane ide enagutte, slowly this will start becoming positively charged. Okay. And this had less electrons, now slowly electrons are being added to it. What happens, either positive charge slowly kadme aagta sir, elli tanaka electrons bartava. Okay. Energy, as I was saying, energy is a very important concept here. ಎರಡರದು ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಆದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಫ್ಲೋ ಕಡಿಮೆ. Why are charges flowing? First of all, because there is a difference in energy in both of them. Okay. Because there is a difference in energy, what happens, charges will flow from one object to the other object. As soon as energy both of them becomes equal, charge flow will become zero. Okay. Fine. We'll talk about conduction in the next class. Next class will be after. Yes. We have like today evening, by evening maybe you'll reach home, or today night you'll reach home. It's tomorrow, day after tomorrow, and Saturday, right? 2 to 3 days. I said try and make a 30-day challenge. Okay. Try and spend as much time as you can revising all things that are being done or that have already completed. ಯಾವ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಯಾವ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಒಂದ್ಸರ್ತಿ ರಿವೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಇಂದ ಇಲ್ಲ ಬೇರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಆಪ್ ಇಂದ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಕೀಪ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್. Only then what happens is slowly, step by step, you'll be able to increase your marks. Otherwise, I know ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕೇಪಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತಾವೆ. ಚಲೋ ಬಂದಿದೆಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ, ಆಯ್ತು ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಬಂದಿದೆಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ಅಂತ ಖುಷಿ ಆಗಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.